Hello, friends. Welcome back to Gecko's Gaming. Today we're going to be talking about the new timeless format and how to approach it with mono black, and some of the challenges I've been having in the format and how I've started turning that around. And just a heads up, I am kind of sick right now, so if my voice feels off or if I'm a little low energy, that's why. So first of all, the avatar bonus sheet has brought a lot of new powerful tools to timeless. It's sort of upended the format again. They brought with it Entomb to enable some broken combos, Dark Depths, another strong combo. But most importantly, Force Negation has been introduced, which is keeping all of these combos in check. And Blue finally has a really good free 0 mana interaction spell to keep the rest of the format in check. So naturally, this has pushed out the all-in combo decks quite a bit. They're still around, but they're definitely not as good as they were before. It's harder to pull that off. If you're going to commit a bunch of resources to go all in on a combo, you need to at least clear the way with Grief first or something like that. But either way, Force Integration is going a long ways towards reining those in. And most combo decks are now more interactive. They have alternative game plans, or even the combo itself is a secondary game plan. Like you're running into a lot of blue-black tempo with Entomb and Reanimate, and Atraxa just kind of jammed in. So it can, just like the Legacy deck that terrorized Legacy for the last couple years, you can play the tempo game plan, or you can play the Reanimate plan, and it's hard to react to and board against. You also run into like a lot of grindy, like green X land decks with Dark Depths combo just kind of thrown into. And so, but the biggest issue that everybody's probably seen so far is that blue decks are running amok. They're emboldened by the 0 mana counters, and they have a slew of extremely powerful 1-drops, Hydroponics and Tameo, that just got a lot better now that you can just cast it on turn 1. Not have to worry about losing to a combo or something like that. You don't really have to play Force Spike anymore, so the blue decks are definitely probably the biggest thing to beat right now. And this season I had a pretty rough run so far. I ran into a slew of combination of things, but I ended up the lowest my rank has ever been. I think I'm at I bottomed out like in the high 70s percentile in Mythic, and usually I end seasons like at least in the 90s, if not ranked. So it's given me an opportunity to learn some things and do some reflecting. I think a big reason why I lost a lot was many reasons. I mean, most importantly, I needed to improve my gameplay and improve my deck, find the deck that, and tune the deck that to beat this new metagame. But I was also doing a lot of like late night, like chilling with friends, playing half-minded, trying a variety of decks, kind of learning new interactions. And I had an unfortunate run too, where I got paired against a lot of platinum players when I first hit Mythic, and it's like one of those things where if you win, you go up 50 ranks, and if you lose, you go down 500. But there were a lot of close games, a lot of good opponents, and most importantly, I've been making mistakes, and the format is very punishing for minor errors. And there's many opportunities to make errors. The gameplay is pretty complex. So I've been working on leveling up my game and tuning some decks. And just recently, I've locked in on mono black again, and I've been tuning the deck, and I've climbed my way back up into like the high 80s. So I think since I locked in on mono black, I've gone 11-5. So we're climbing back up. It's all good. But let's go ahead and get into the deck tech here. First consideration, as I've alluded to already, is blue. You need to be able to beat the various blue decks. They come in many different varieties. There's a blue-black Tempo, Reanimator decks. There's the blue-white controlling type decks with Source of Plowshares. There's Esper decks that play swords and bowmasters and sometimes Psychic Frog. The thing that they have in common is they all play 8 blue 1-drops. They all play 4 Hydroponics Architect and usually 4, sometimes 3 Tameos. And you really need to answer those immediately. There's also a lot of Lurises running around, but you really need to answer those 1-drops immediately. So having 4 Fatal Push is, I think, a must in this current meta. In the past, I haven't played it in the main deck in here when I was more interested in beating combo decks, and also because we don't have fetch lands, but the ability to answer those 1-drops is really important now. So we've gone up to 4. You don't really need the fetches to get Revolt for this to be good right now. I also have 4 Bowmasters for the blue decks. That's kind of an obvious one. They draw a lot of cards, and they also have Bowmasters of their own, so you need to pick off their Bowmasters with your Bowmasters and that kind of a thing. And always watch out for you really want to try to play your Bowmasters last. Like, you don't want to play these very proactively against blue decks and against Bowmaster mirrors, because whoever plays the last Bowmasters wins usually the Bowmaster Wars. So don't try to rush it out. Try to be patient. Try to use it to pick off their Bowmasters if you can. And then the other consideration for blue is the main deck opposition agents. I also have Dismember in the main, because Dismember can take out the creatures, it can take out trolls, it can take out shield dreads, and you can take out like the random Overlord of the Balemarker, things like that you see sometimes. But most importantly, if you need to in a pinch, you can pay 1 mana. It's not even a pinch, this is fine to do. Is you pay 1 mana to kill a Tamiyo or a Hydroponics Architect. And when you do that, it's fine, because the blue decks usually can't pressure your life total that much, so you're paying 4 life is not really much of a problem there. You should try to play around Force of Negation sometimes, but not always. With Dismember and Fatal Push, if they have like, sometimes you're tempted to not do it on your turn, to wait until their upkeep to remove their blue 1-drops to get around Force of Negation. But be careful if you do that, because Tamiyo can flip if they have a Brainstorm. So my heuristic is I'll remove Tamiyo on my turn. If they want to force it, then we got a card out of their hand. They had to 2 for 1, and then there's 1 less Force Negation to worry about for like a Ring or a Reanimate or something strong like that. But if it's a Hydroponics Architect, I'll still try to do an upkeep to play around Force Negation. Alright, so let's talk about the mana real quick. We have 30 mana sources. It's a Strip Mine meta. There's even more Strip Mine now than there was before, because Dark Depths incentivizes people to play more Strip Mines, both in the Dark Depths deck and in other decks. And so we have 12 black untapped lands, and then we have 11 conditional black sources of mana that require another card to get off the ground. And then we also have 7 colorless sources, so total of 30 mana sources. And then we also have 11 fast mana, so 4 Ancient Tomb, 4 Dark Ritual, 3 Chrome Mox. I trimmed a Chrome Mox again because the format's just not as fast as it used to be. Force Negation is slowing things down, and you're way more likely to get blown out if you go all in on trying to ramp out like a 1 ring on turn 1 or something like that. So often we find ourselves in grindy situations where the card disadvantage hurts us more than the mana acceleration helps us on Chrome Mox. So, but the fast mana, it still enables broken starts. It still has some resiliency to Strip Mine. It has its own vulnerabilities, Prismatic Ending and things like that. But overall, that's where I'm at right now. And then I often trim Chrome Moxes post board when the games slow down even more. But and then we have some dual face cards. These you should 100% think of these as lands with slight upside of sometimes they can be a spell. But they're mostly here to pitch to Grief or Mox or be an untapped black source. They're super flexible in that way. And the spells do come in handy sometimes. 90 to 95% of the time they should be a land, but once in a while as a spell they come in handy. I did experiment with cutting Strip Mines prior to the Dark Depths meta. I think it was doing okay. The deck doesn't need the Strip Mine necessarily. We are trying to play like a big game. Now sometimes you get them on a small game. Like if you reanimate a fatty right away and then you can strip them to like close the game, that can be pretty devastating. But then oftentimes when the games go more mid-rangey or long game, the Strip Mine is just a tap for colorless source, which is fine. But you don't want to. You just want to know when to use your Strip Mines and when not to. It's usually this deck is not really trying to strip the opponent out, but they're more in here as a spell to deal with Dark Depths and those types of situations. And then occasionally, like I said, you you can use it to close the game, or if you identify a weakness in the opponent's draw. So getting into the sideboard, the 2 Bloodchief's Thirst are here again for blue decks when you're on the draw, because especially if they're on the play, you need to take out their 1-drop. So post board, between the Dismembers, the Fatal Pushes, and the 2 Bloodchief's Thirst, that gives us 7 ways to answer one of their 8 1-drops on turn 1 on the draw. So that's been helpful there. You also bring it in randomly against like Mardu or Energy decks or small creature decks, obviously. Thoughtseize has gone down a little bit for me. I'm down to 2 now. Usually the decks that you want it against have the Leyline of Sanctity 2. It's good against blue. I bring it in against blue on the play. What I sort of do is I bring in Thoughtseize on the play, and I bring in Bloodchief's Thirst on the draw against blue decks most of the time. And yeah, but I mean, it's still good. It interacts with combo decks meaningfully, and it can interact with basically anything you need to. Toxic Deluge is for energy decks. Voidwalker I bring it in mostly for the graveyard combo, or if I need to go smaller and apply some more pressure, like have a lower curve. Like if I'm cutting Chrome Moxes, maybe I'm trimming some of my fatties, some rings, some shield dreads, Barragoyfs, trolls, some of the top end stuff. I'll trim some of that and go smaller and play Dothy. And it's obviously good against the Reanimator decks. And Shield Dread's Edict is for mostly Merit Lage. I had it out for a little while, but I brought it back in for Merit Lage for the Dark Depths combo decks. But you do have random value that you can hit. You know, it's randomly good. Like you can bring it in. It's serviceable against creature-based aggressive decks, and you can bring it in against mirrors probably and stuff like that to take out some fatties. Disruptor Flute is mostly for Sorin. I haven't run into Show and Tell in a while, but you can bring it in for Show and Tell too. Just random activated and triggered abilities that you can't deal with. Sometimes the 3 mana cost is helpful too, for slowing down a combo deck. And then Opposition Agent is obviously in it for blue decks and Entomb decks and other combo decks that are searching their library. So yeah, that's the deck. Let me know if you have any questions or any comments about the deck tech. We'd love to hear it. I'm recording this deck tech after the gameplay you're about to see because I wanted to put kind of what I've learned up front so that you guys can get the most up-to-date deck list. But yeah, I'm about to jump into some games, so thanks everybody for watching. Please smash that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this, and enjoy. Alright, I'll play first. We're up against one of the Arena Championship qualified people. I think it looks pretty good. We have a turn 1 Goyf. Probably Exile push. Yeah. Up against Loris. But yeah, I was saying this is someone who's qualified for the Arena Championship. And it's timeless this coming time, so a lot of really good players are testing for that reason. Yo, alright. Just checking something there. Alright, sorry about that. Made this guy wait for a while, I'm really sorry. Alright. I just had to check a couple things there. There we go. Turn 1 Goyf. Maybe if we're lucky, rip a swamp here. We can go turn 2 ring. That'd be pretty nice. Never reanimate. Okay. Unfortunately, we can't even swing really, so this is, I guess, attack, and maybe they accidentally crack their fetch. Alright, next turn, the Goyf is coming through, though. For 1 damage at least. Oh, we have swords? Yeah, sure. I like the art on that, the Final Fantasy one. It's pretty cool. getting a bad run here. Really bad run of luck. I mean, I guess I could have. It was possibly a mulligan, you know, I suppose, but. Alright, so Zertine, Jeskai, Energy, Mockingbird. I gotta pay a lot of life for this. There we go. So Jeskai Energy. Haven't seen this deck around in a while. Yeah, Hydro, nice. Draw a lot of cards, it's an interesting idea. Draw a lot of cards with your aggro deck.
I will prove my worth to my pride.
We could get swords again here, so have to bear that in mind. But I don't have really any other outs, so I'm going to be taking 2, 3, 4 next turn. Yeah, looks like they have it too. So we just draw anyways, and oh wow, they didn't have it. They had something. Alright, we got him. Jeskai Energy. Friggin' Deluge, definitely Thirst. Maybe Edict, maybe Flute. Maybe even Opposition Agent might be decent here. Let's keep it in the conversation because they are playing a fetch heavy land base with Hydro Homie. So think about it. Let's see, what can we cut? You know, Opposition Agent is going to be really slow on the draw, though. I don't know if that's going to be really something's going to work out there. We cut Grief, though. The reanimation package does not seem great since they're playing white. Yeah, let's cut Opposition Agent. I might try it on the play, but I don't think it's gonna work that well, especially on the draw. And yeah, I'm gonna cut some number of reanimates. I'm not sure how many yet. I think the Flute is reasonable. It turns off a Ajani, which is pretty nice. Guess let's try this. Let's try this for the Jeskai Energy. Alright. One goes first. Hand doesn't really do anything, but it does buy time, I guess. Deluge is nice. It's one of the better cards in the matchup, I think. I'm gonna try it. We have a decent amount of gas in our deck, and if we draw any of it, we'll be fine. See, like, there we go. So I'm gonna play a tapped trawler. Fortunately, they're gonna get a hydro trigger, but I don't want to burn a toxic deluge just on that right now. I have a turn 2 shield jet lined up here, but I don't think that's what I want to do. Guide of Souls. Guide of Souls. Okay. Deluge is going to be good. I'll save the Chrome Mox for now. I need to play that yet. Oh, the Profane might actually come in handy. Is that hydroponics value there? Alright. So they have a Luris. And they have a lot of cards in hand. They didn't play any more threats, so I'm gonna guess they have removal. But they do have removal. I'm gonna make them use it now and hold up my removal because they can't. It's not like they can lure us next turn. If they remove Shield Dead and get something back from the graveyard. They didn't have an instant speed removal spell, so that's interesting. I wonder what they have in their hand. Seems like yeah, it seems like a weird time to bring Luris to hand. All right. Yeah, the Arena Championship folks they're just trying stuff. They're probably not used to the format. They're probably just coming in and trying different things. GG. All right. On the play. This is Think a Mulligan, right? Yeah. This one's keepable. I wish I knew what they were playing. But as it stands, I could probably put back either Profane or one Troll, and a good representation against the meta. Let's put one Troll back. Because I'd like to not do 2 damage to myself to get my first black source. Green deck. Or it could be black. Or it could be black-green. Let's just jam Goyf. Yeah, I could get pushed, but that's part of life. Yep, that's part of life. We'll have a clear 1 ring next turn. Rumble, okay, so we're playing against the Dark Depths combo. Dark Depths. So let's take a look. I still explore. They do have the combo. They're a pretty stacked hand, honestly. guess I'll take the Explorer. It's kind of the only thing that's not like everything else. I can't play 2 lands next turn, so I'm here to just jam a ring here. And we have Strip Mine to help buy us some time. Reanimate, okay. Reanimating Ice Tail is pretty nice. Reanimate Ice Tail and then Strip Mine their whole situation over there. Pretty smart, because it gives it a little bit of insulation against strip mines. He saw me looking through his graveyard. I'm sure he knows what I'm up to over here. So I might as well cycle the troll. Start. Actually, no, because I don't want to cycle the troll. Because I want to play a bunch of lands with the. Alright, let's over the ritual. I'll play a bunch of lands with their Ice Tail Explorer. I strip mine like twice. Dude, it's kind of tough to make a call which one to take out. I guess I'll take out the swap since I'm going on the no colors thing. And then I'll Bowmasters with Thespian Stage. And then I'll strip that too. Alright. Take in some Voidwalkers. Probably want Disruptor Flute. Opposition Agent is good. Edict is good. Thirst? Not so much, probably. Don't need Thirst. I don't even know if I want Push, honestly. They don't have a ton of ways to interact with my broken start, so I'm not sure if I want to cut the Chrome Boxes or not. Probably cut Dismember. I'll try cutting Push. Shelly's kind of slow for the job. Actually, Bowmasters doesn't do much. I should cut Bowmasters. And bring in maybe some interaction. In like a couple, or like, Push and a Dismember. They might have some big creatures in there. I don't know how these decks are usually built exactly. Can't go Can't go wrong with 2 push, I guess. You know, they probably have Deathrite Shaman and they have Badger and Molcob, so it has a couple good targets. Let's see what they have. Surgical, Hex Mage, Sylvan Scrying. So we take the Scrying here. Okay. I don't think Surgical is good against, for what it's worth, I don't think Surgical is good against Scam. It's not good against my deck, especially. Like, if I'm gonna scam you, I'm gonna get to look at your hand before the grief goes to the graveyard, and you can, or you can target it with Surgical anyways, so if I need to get that out, I will, otherwise I won't, and you'll probably just be down 1 card, because... Yeah, I mean, especially if you don't have, like, hand interaction, too. It's worse then. Like, if you can get a card out of my hand, you know, maybe it goes up a little bit, but... Good game. Kind of interesting. I think I'll try this, actually. I don't know. This might be bad. But the strip mines kind of make it interesting and being on the draw. See if we can strip them out. And I could potentially just naturally cast the troll, but probably not. Yeah, I could cast troll on turn 4, I guess. It's not the worst. Okay, I should have griefed. Our only hope is that they don't have another land and reanimate here, but if they're entombing, they obviously have reanimate, so maybe they don't have another black source. It's the only chance. Strip that. Alright, they got us. I've never seen that watery grave before. That's pretty cool. Let's take a look at their decks quick and then we'll oop. Tomb, Reanimate, Bloodstrand, Disintegration. Okay. Voidwalker, Agent, Thoughtseize. These games can slow down post board, so you want the value. Like playing a card for a temporary boost with Comox isn't going to get you as far. So you'd rather not go down a card on that a lot of times. And yeah, I don't know if cutting rings and Shellys is good here, but you really only need like one ring to win. One ring to rule them all, if you will. I'm sorry, I'll see myself out. Yeah, let's go ahead and play. I mean, yeah, I'll play the Bogart. I have to save a little life. Since I don't have any big mana stuff, I'm going to try to keep the game small here instead of reanimating their Deathrite, because I can't ramp it anything yet anyways, so try to keep it small. We can hit their Deathrite next turn, or maybe take something better if it comes up with another Deathrite. Goyf. Play the Goyf. Uh-oh, we're getting griefed. Pretty good turn. Yeah, very good turn. Cast Troll next turn. Let's just shoot him with the Bowmasters. Try to mount a little bit of pressure. Oh, they have Bowmasters too. Sucks. Should have attached burst, I guess. Took my grief. Position agent, not exactly what I wanted to see there, but it's not the worst. Alright, they just scooped to that, okay. Get to see the whole deck though, so let's take a look. Tamiyo's playing Tamiyo and Deathrite, but they're not playing Hydro. There's a subtlety in there. One subtlety. They're playing for removal. They have pushes. Just push, and that's it for removal. All right. On the draw, the Thirst is better, but against their deck, their one drops really aren't that important to kill as much. Feels like Shield Dread's pretty good. But I don't know, I'll try this. Not sure this is right. Turn one Grief. See what they take. Take a Shield. Shield Dread, okay. Look at a Reanimator. That's a way to go down. Yeah, I think we're cooked. Play around Force Negation. I had to deal 6 damage to myself between the tombs and the dismember. So that Shelly did a lot of damage as well. It's going to be tough to come back from here. I think my best bet is to reanimate Shield Dread myself. I will do that right now. Arrowglaive. We have to push. And let's cast another Barrowglaive. There's no way they can do 2 damage to us on their turn. Take my ring. They had a dead push in their hand. No fetch lands. So you're dead on board unless you have something else, though. Vision Borrower, sure. Alright, let's game. Alright. Against Allure's deck, I'll play first. We have the... This hand is very resource intensive, but... I could Grief and turn 1 Oppo, but... Probably better off just... going with the Oppo. I could Grief Bowmasters too, but like exile the Bowmasters for Grief and then Oppo. Let's hold here. With any luck, they just have fetch lands for mana. That'd be nice. Nope. Okay. Yep. Take my only mana source with Static Prison. It's pretty brutal because if I even want to bring it back at all, then I have to, I'd have to, yeah, I'd lose a resource on it. I have to exile another card, I think. Yeah, it comes back. So it's like super, it gets rid of it, basically. Push or Bowmasters against Black Whites. Luris. Probably Bowmasters, especially since it only have 1 mana. Stick a Johnny and then... Wow, they drew all their... It was like all their shock lands and no fetches this game. What are the chances? Took my push, okay. I mean, when it comes back, I'll still... At this point, I'll still probably use it. I just need mana. So... It decides to give me the card back now. This is pretty close, I think. I think I have to exile the Dark Ritual because they're going to Thoughtseize me. So there's no hope of casting it later on down the line. They're gonna guide and then Juggernaut again. Get a Swamp. An army of Juggernauts ready to go. Another Guide of Souls, oh no. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, so yeah. Should really block here. Here we go. But we're still not quite there. Raptor. It's a lot of energy. Probably dead. I don't know what I could draw to get out of this. Alright. Deluge. Oh no, not Thoughtseize. Right. Let's use Thirst. I guess Edict and Flute 2 are fine. Cut Grief. I could potentially cut all the Reanimates. I don't really have much else to bring in though, so it's a fine little value play. Unlike a Goy for a cat or something. This is fine. I can cast Deluge and it's close enough to getting to the ring. I have a backup swamp in case I get stripped. Okay, monkey. That's what Bowmasters is best for in this matchup, is just taking out a Ragavan or an Ocelot Pride. Okay, here comes Guide of Souls. I actually considered like taking out the Guide of Souls there, but
What a beautiful day,
now we get a big deluge next turn. I think I sequenced that wrong. I was, yeah, I had a different plan. It's okay. Yeah, I had to go in the tank for a second there. But I should have done, what I meant to do was, I meant to sweep and then play Bogart Charger to clean up their graveyard. Would have been a lot better with Luris around. Didn't want to give me a Juggernaut, huh? Even if they remove Shield Dread, that's okay. I have protection this turn, so yeah, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They can be back Ajani, which is pretty good actually. I don't know if it's enough to beat what I've got going on here. Just bring back Guy of Souls, okay. Must have another Ajani in their hand, yeah. It's fine.
Fight beside me, brother.
Draw a bunch of cards. Just some mana, huh? Alright. You're dead if you do this, right? Take 4 from Shield Dread and there's no life gain here. Yeah. Alright, I think we'll just run it back again. Nothing really out of the ordinary here, so let's just run it back. This hand doesn't it doesn't do anything. I think I'm mulligan this. Not super better, but I got something stuck in my throat. Alright, let's see. Another Shield Dread, huh? I left till it matters, so I'm just gonna put that down tapped instead of representing a bluff. Like a Shelly, interesting. A long ways away from casting that. What's up? Do they have like a grief or a solitude or? Oh, they're an attack step. So I could remove their peddler and then get it back, or I could do the same thing with the Guide of Souls. Man, it's tough because the Guide of Souls is so much better in their deck than in mine. And it's something that I need to remove, but like the peddler would be kind of nice too to use against them, and so if I take their Guide of Souls and their peddler is still just doing its thing forever. See, it just because this is a 2/2 vigilance, so the Guide of Souls just does nothing on the board. Why I consider taking the peddler. Maybe I should have instead. I think it's arguable. But you know, if I had taken the peddler, they'd be going off right now and pumping with the Guide of Souls already. I'm off to a rough start here. Definitely a rough start. If we can come back from this, we gotta get a sweeper. So he just gets his Guide of Souls back for free with the Static Prison. I should just totally cut Reanimates and figure out. I went down on slots for Boros because or for energy because I wasn't seeing a lot of it, but I'm seeing more of it now again, and I just have a few slots in my deck that aren't good. So they're gonna back the Raptor here, yeah. Yeah, I think that was just a perfect example of just I didn't have enough playable cards to board in, and so I was like, I think one Disruptor Flute is fine in this matchup, but I don't want to for exactly that reason. And same thing with Reanimate, like I don't want Reanimate. So yeah, so that was just a perfect example of why I should probably respect Mardu a little bit more. And I was thinking about trimming a Shield Jet from the main for a second Oppo, and then I could put a third Toxic Deluge in the sideboard. So let's try that. So that's it for me for today. That'll be the deck going forward, though. If you have any questions, any feedback, any suggestions, please leave it in the comments, and please smash that subscribe button, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Everybody have a great day.